Expedite, the pre-workout, is designed to really help you get through those moments where you feel a little fatigued. Sometimes your body does get a little tired, it gets a little sore. With this kind of stuff, it picks you right back up.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, and I'm being joined now with Jose Ramirez, the reigning WBC and WBO junior welterweight champion, who fights Josh Taylor coming up on May 22nd on ESPN for the right to be called undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world. There can be only one. Jose, welcome. Thank you so much, man. Hey, I am stoked for this fight because these opportunities are rare, and achieving something like undisputed as a fighter is extremely rare. That's an accomplishment that very, very few in the sport have a chance to ever do.
That's exactly right. And I'm very motivated. First and foremost, I want to thank, Top Rank, for believing in me, and I want to thank God, my family, my team, for supporting me and pushing myself to get to where I'm at now. So, I'm happy that this fight got made, and I think the sport needs it right now. I think the sport really needs a fight like this. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Now, you've been in camp for how long now?
I've been in camp for 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
How has it been knowing the magnitude of this fight and the magnitude of this challenge, and knowing that you can make history on a lot of levels with winning this fight? How has it been mentally for you coming into this?
I'm just enjoying every moment. I'm very calm and composed. I think last year was a tough year, and last year I really got tested mentally. This year, I after my last fight, I took my time off. I reset it. I enjoyed my family, my blessings. I enjoyed the holidays, but I left with a little edge. Knowing that, man, that was my best performance. I got a lot more to show than that. And so I left with a little edge, and but I got away from the sport for a couple months. I think that was good for me. I was able to enjoy my family, uh, and reset. And as soon as but I was asking for this fight. Throughout the whole time early this year, I was making sure my manager and Top Rank and even MTK were all in the right page of making this fight happen. And so, and behind my mind, I knew man, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. So this time, from a long, as compared to my last fight, this time I wanted to be in camp. I wanted to feel the grind again because I know how big this fight is. So I'm enjoying every single moment of it. I started pre-camp before coming to Robert Garcia. I did pre-camp for 5 weeks, and I've been here. I've been here with Robert now for 8 weeks. This is my ninth, and next week will be my 10th. But the last week is always just to make weight. It doesn't really count. Um, but it's been a great. It's been a long camp, for my pre-camp and this camp together. It's been long, but it's gone. It just went like this. It went really, really fast because I'm enjoying every single day of training, and I'm not counting. Oh, hope it's Friday, so I could take off to Fresno and visit the family. Now it's like, man, I want the days to slow down because I'm enjoying the grind, and I want to make sure I put the work I need to put in to make sure that I'm ready for this fight. I'm enjoying every single moment. I'm motivated, and I'm happy that I made it this far in my career.
Yeah, that's interesting. You say that that you're enjoying this and you're enjoying the training and all that, because usually fighters are like, I hate training. Like, I can't stand this. Like, this is the worst part. And like, it mentally, like it's very, very draining not being able to see, family, doing the same routine over and over. Why has this process for you, for this fight in specific, been enjoyable doing all that?
Well, usually every camp is like that. Last year though, because the fight got postponed against Posto so many times, that it was the first time I was able to feel what you're saying right now. I'm just exhausted now. Man, I just want to go and enjoy the family. See, we work so hard, to get rewarded and then get away from the sport. Uh, at least that's who I am. Uh, but this fight, I took a good vacation. It was time for me to go out and do what I do best. And I think uh, I wake up at 6 in the morning. I woke up at 6 in the morning today to go do my hills, and I don't even think about it, man. I'm so zoned out. I'm so focused that I don't even think about, you know, man, 5 more minutes of, 5 more minutes in the sheets. I just jump and, get ready, wash my face, brush my teeth, put my running shoes on and ready to go, and I don't complain. I don't complain at one bit. I go out there, do my job, come back, have a good, proper meal, relax, go back to the gym at 12. Today I was up at 6 in the morning. I got done with my hills by 7:30. Had a small breakfast. Was by 8:30 I had my breakfast. I took an hour nap. I watched a movie. At 11 o'clock, I was back in the gym to do an interview with Mark Kriegel. And then I had to do train for 2 hours. Then I had to do a bunch, about an hour and a half of more production stuff with ESPN. And I'm not, it's usually I'm the type of guy who will wake up and just kind of be exhausted just by thinking about what I gotta do today, right? You get tired just by thinking about all the things you got going. But I'm just taking one thing at a time, one session at a time. And not too many people could say they made it this far in level in anything, and I'm happy that I'm a part of one of the biggest fights in boxing and at the highest level of competition, and I'm ready, man. I just can't wait.
No, I read on a few interviews that you've noted that you've been pushing yourself like you've never pushed yourself in any camp before. What are you doing differently? How are you pushing yourself more in specific?
Well, it's hard to explain when it's kind of growing in you. It kind of grows in me to be that way right now. There's only one pace that I'm going in sparring. There's no room for excuses in any training session that I do. There's no, oh, today I just want to go out there and just go through the routine, go home. If I could ask for 2 more rounds of sparring, or if I could ask for 2 more rounds of doing mitts or heavy bag, and Robert will probably tell me, no, Jose, I think you've done enough. But because I know Robert's gonna tell me I did enough, I want to make sure that what I did was the best way I was able to do it. Not just going through the routine. So when I know there's a minute left, even though I got 6 more rounds, I pushed that minute hard, and make it feel like it's the last round, so I could, mentally just push myself and finish that round strong, like if it's the last round, and then all of a sudden I got 6 more rounds to go. So I'm just trying to, do the best I could do. Yeah,
the intensity is
yeah, and it's just kind of it's just growing in me. You could say it's a big fight, and I want to make sure, well, first and foremost, I'm aware of, of all the glory that one will get after they become the winner. So I'm aware of that, and and I'm working hard, for me to receive that glory. Fights like this, brings a lot of glory to yourself, to your team, to your country, to many people that supported you from day one. So, there's I can feel that I'm fighting for many other reasons than just getting all 4 bouts. I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting for my own legacy, to be in the Hall of Fame one day. To be able to teach my son, my kids that their dad was fearless and fought the best and was in the best fights. And I think not too many people could say that. A lot of people could box, but not too many people could say they fought the best.
Or say they became undisputed champion.
Or say that, to prove it, right?
To get that chance to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can make a lot of money in boxing, but that doesn't fulfill that glory that the one dreams of when they think about boxing. That Muhammad Ali status, that Julio Cesar Chavez status, that Floyd Mayweather, status, the Sugar Ray Robinson, the Sugar Ray Leonard, the Duran, that glory of being the best. Not too many people could say they felt it. And this is the type of fights that fulfill that.
What would you say, looking at this fight and looking at Josh Taylor as an opponent, Jose, what do you think is going to be the most challenging thing about fighting Josh Taylor?
It's honestly hard to say. Those are all tough questions. It's not until I'm in front of them that I'm gonna know what's top and bottom. The just to give you an, an, uh, an answer for the sake of it, I think that you could argue that he's been undefeated. He's an Olympian and he has confidence in himself. So that could always motivate a fighter to go in there and do better. That's the simple fact of having confidence. But I can't really. But I just But to be very sincere, it's hard to say this, until you're facing someone.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true because you got to
On
know like
paper,
how to
on
react and all
paper,
that.
on paper, you could definitely, there's no argument that he's the best fighter I faced. Um, and he has a great resume, with only 17 fights. But I think I also have a great resume of my own, and I have 26 professional fights. So I've been in more 12-round fights than he has. I've been in more, round. I had more rounds than he has, and I'm gonna just mentally, I just feel like that I got everything that is required to win. To be honest, I feel like I got everything that's required, and I hope to put everything together, and be the winner that night. But uh, I can't really tell you how the fight's gonna play out. I can't really tell you uh how good he is, or what's the stuff that he does well. Because when I study my opponents, I only study them so I can see the flaws and see what's gonna work for me. I never study an opponent to see what they do good. Because they're not facing me. So whatever might be working for them is because they're facing the fighter that they're facing. So, and I don't like to be distracted and be thinking about what he does good. I like to focus on what I do well, and I think that's who I am. And we're gonna find out May 22nd.
Jose, what do you think wins you this fight? What makes a difference and what wins you this fight?
Have to go in there in very good shape. I think being well conditioned, having a lot of confidence, and believing in myself. And just putting everything together, remembering all my sacrifices, everything I've done from day one, since I was 8 years old. Um, remember why I'm doing this, and staying focused. Just staying focused for every round, every second of that fight, just staying focused and zoned in into the fight, and just do what I do best. Just putting everything together. This is the time that I gotta put everything together. There's never been a fight as important as this one. So this is the time to shine with no excuses.
Taylor's a guy that's shown that he could box, but also in that Regis Prograis fight, he stayed a lot in the close distance with Prograis. And when I was looking at that fight and then looking over your past fights, I was like, okay, that's interesting. If he fights Jose on the close range, I don't know if that's a good thing for Taylor. That's a very good thing for you, but for Taylor, like I was like, I don't know. And then Regis was hitting him with a lot of body shots, and I was like, okay, I see a path there.
Well, I
I
think
see,
no, I think to be quite honest, I think that the Regis' worst mistake was not going in there in shape. I think he got tired. I think he gave too many rounds. He took too many rounds off in the middle of the fight. That cost him the fight. And obviously, anybody, when someone's only throwing one or two punches, and they're in the inside, they want to fight inside, but they're only throwing one or two punches. The more active fighter is going to land more. And I think Josh Taylor saw that Regis wasn't as active, and capitalized on the fact that he was throwing. Josh Taylor was throwing 3-4 punches, uh, while Regis was throwing one or two, and you can see Regis losing his balance a couple times after throwing one punch, because he was trying to throw a heavy punch, but if Taylor blocked it or Regis missed, Taylor did well in capitalizing on that and being more active in the inside, and and if Regis would have been in better condition, if he would have gone in there and with better legs, I think he could have won the fight. It was a very competitive fight, but yeah, that shows just it shows that Taylor is willing to you know put himself in a hard position to win the fight. which it shows his will to win a fight, and I appreciate that because those are the type of guys I want to fight, and I want to fight the best Josh Taylor. Um, as I suppose he wants to fight the best Jose Ramirez, so we don't want no excuses afterwards, So I'm aware, of the competition that I'm in now, and I'm, and I can say that I'm grateful, and again, I'm enjoying every single moment, and I'm going in there, I'm gonna enjoy myself and work really, really hard, and at the end of the day, that's all I could do is, fight my best.
Is that how you're envisioning winning the fight, by you outworking him, or like mentally, how are you envisioning winning this?
It hasn't really came up to my mind as much as other fights, to be honest. But the times that I do envision the fight, I could see myself putting him in the ropes, and him uh, being overly excited and trying to move out the ropes fast, and I think that's gonna make him burn a lot of energy because he's gonna be very uh he's gonna try to show me that he's tough, so he's gonna forget about what he needs to do because he's gonna want to show me that he's a macho man too, and he's from Scotland, and he has this much pride, and we'll see how long you know he, the fight goes if he fights my fight.
Yeah,
You know,
I was thinking about that too. That's crazy that you bring that up, because I was thinking, like, is his pride gonna come into play in this fight? Because you would think like he's gonna want to box, but at some point, because you're pressing him, he's gonna want to show you like, no, dude, you can't press me. And I'm like, that's when the fight starts.
exactly. And, fights like this sometimes start after the sixth round. And that's when it really picks up. So, but I'm gonna go out there and I've been working, staying sharp in my defense, and I've been blocking a lot of punches. Uh, Robert's dad, Eduardo Garcia, he's been very pleased with my defense. He's telling everyone, he goes, man, Jose blocks everything in sparring, man. He's sparring 160 pounders, he's sparring 147 pounders, he's sparring 154 pounders, and he sees every punch coming. So I'm, just the fact that I'm just so focused, and every sparring that I do, I'm so focused, and I'm taking my time with my punches. I'm not over jumping because I think for a fight like this, it's important to stay composed. It's important to stay patient, and not just waste a lot of energy by letting your emotions kick in. We've seen how well Canelo fights now because he has so much confidence in himself that he's so composed that he knows it's just a matter of time before he starts landing his good shots. And that's what makes him such a good fighter. And I think, and I'm taking a lot of that into my own habits.
Jose, if you win this fight and you do become undisputed champion, that's a huge accomplishment. Like, no Mexican has ever done it, ever. But what kind of recognition do you feel you should get if you do achieve that goal?
That's another tough question. But my family is going to be very proud. My team is going to be very proud. My loved ones, the people that matter to me the most, I'm sure they're going to be very, very proud and very happy for me. And I'm going to be very happy with myself. And I think that's at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. Um, who knows how people are going to take me in after this fight? If I'm successful, how the country of Mexico might take me in, how the Hispanics and the country of the United States, as me being a United States Olympian, I don't know how they're gonna take me in, how ESPN is gonna take me in. It's just we're gonna have to wait and see. But I'm not thinking about that. I know my priorities, uh, which is God, my family. Those are my priorities. So as long as I continue to be I continue being a good man, a guy who works under the gracious of God, and a man who does the right things. And as long as I continue to be a good father, a good son, a good brother, and a good partner, um, that's what's most important to me. So I pray that that no matter what, I don't let success, misguide me to what's important for me.
I would think at the very least they got to put you on the pound for pound list.
Yeah,
Undisputed
again,
champion at 140. You gotta be on the pound for pound list.
yeah, we'll see again. Just everything's about a lot of this stuff also has to do, to be sincere. It has to do a lot with the hype of a fighter. And sometimes if a fighter is being well promoted, and the fighter has all the bouts, and the fighters beat a guy who's unbeatable, all of a sudden everybody wants a little bit of piece of that fighter. So they try to now they put him in the pound for pound list. But at the end of the day, uh, I'll be okay with whatever they decide to put me in, as long as I know that I became an undisputed world champion, and that's my short term goal right now. Um, and as a kid, I dream of becoming a world champion. Once I became a world champion, I knew it wasn't enough. I knew there was more doubt, than before I became a world champion. More there was more negativity after I became a world champion than when I was a prospect. And it's because with fame and with when you start getting more recognized, there's also a lot of negativity that comes with it. Um, and again, I as long as I remain myself and I remain humble and 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 a good role model as for the sport of boxing, I'll be happy with that.
Have you thought about what happens next? Say you become undisputed. Do you have goals in mind? Other goals?
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it because I'm getting bigger, and so I thought about definitely moving up to the welterweight division. It just, it's getting harder for me to make the 140-pound weight class. I'm 5'10". You know, my body just wants to grow. I think it's time for me to let it grow and see. I might be a better fighter in a bigger weight class because they're not as fast. They're not as fast as the 140 pounders. There's some fast 147 pounders, but overall, it's someone who really understands the sport of boxing, understands that the heavier you get, the slower you can see the punches better, and they're less active too. And maybe they'll fit my style better. And if I put on that mass, the muscle, just only get stronger, I might be a better fighter in a bigger weight class. So definitely, but it's we'll see. I'll play it one fight at a time because you never know. You just never know with boxing. I got so many things going for me outside of boxing too. I done so well with my business, with different businesses that I started outside of boxing, that I fight because I love the sport, not because I need the money.
Mm. That's good to hear. That's refreshing because I think a lot of fighters now are more about the money instead of fighting the fights that will build their legacy and
But
build their career.
in their defense, when you hear all these exhibitions and the money they're getting paid, then all fighters say, they start thinking, hey, maybe I want to get paid like that too. So why take the big risk? So in their defense is, it's understanding. I think you don't start getting paid in boxing until you beat the odds. And it's hard to beat the odds in boxing sometimes. It's hard to become a world champion, let alone to be a unified world champion and to stay in that level for a long time. It's not easy.
All right, Jose. Hey, man, thank you for joining us. It's really, really good to see you. This man right here challenging for the 140-pound undisputed title. He holds the WBC and the WBO titles, taking on Josh Taylor for the right to be called undisputed on May 22nd on ESPN. Jose, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you at the fight. Thank you.
Thank you.